everybody? It's your man J Rock, and I'm coming at you with another episode of the J Rock Show. And making his return, to the J Rock Show for 1 week is my man Siege. How are we doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing great. It's good to be back. I'm ready to see what you got to throw at me today, J-Rock.
All right, so for today, gonna move away from the draft segment. We're gonna do Hall of Fame or not of current SWBA players.
Okay. Okay. Like we're deciding whether we think they're Hall of Fame or not.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay. Let's do it.
All right, so Siege for I'll give you one first, and so I'll give you Giannis. You want
Yeah. I think he makes the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's done yet. I think he's going to be a top 15 player of all time by the time he's done. That's bias on my side. He's my favorite player in the NBA. Bucks are my team, but I do think he does enough. The issue is I don't know if he wins another ring. I would like it. The real issue is his play style doesn't speak to longevity very well. So I don't know how long he's going to be playing at this level. So he's going to have to really pack in the accolades and the stats while he's a little younger. But I think he does end up doing enough to make the Hall of Fame, personally.
I agree, and it definitely helps that he already has one championship. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see him win it just for Damian Lillard.
Yeah, you and me both.
That dude deserves a ring.
That I would agree. He should get one.
All right, so Siege, who you got for me first off?
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. Ooh. That's a tough one. He does have a ring with the Cavs. Had multiple double-double seasons. You know what? I'm going to say yes. I think it's outside shot, kind of played down the last few years, but he averages a straight double-double for his career. One of the best probably in his prime. He was one of the best probably three-point shooting fours in the game. Multiple All-Stars, NBA title. So I think he gets in, and I say probably about a 75% chance.
I really like Kevin Love, and I think there's a good chance he makes it. I think the argument could be made that the only ring he's got is because LeBron James had an absolutely insane finals. Yes, Kevin Love had a crazy career. I love Kevin Love. When he was in Minnesota, he was an animal. I think he probably makes it, but I'm not convinced on Kevin Love making it, to be honest. I'm really not, but he does have the ring. He's got some stats in his prime, and yeah, there's a good chance he does. All
right. So next one up for you, Siege. Trying to make this a little tougher. I'm gonna give you Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, he makes the Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah, he makes the Hall of Fame. When you talk about players that did things that nobody else has been able to do, you talk about Russ, the multiple seasons averaging a triple-double. I know we're about to see Luka do it at some point again, but it hadn't been done since Big O. The tenacity, but I love Russell Westbrook. I know a lot of people aren't huge on him. I love Russell Westbrook. I think he's a phenomenal player. And to me, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. If he doesn't get a ring, I could see them keeping him out of it. But in terms of when you talk about Hall of Famers and what they really are, to me, Russell Westbrook's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, without a doubt. Westbrook is kind of a guy who's on the fence for me. He's a triple-double machine in his prime, did stuff like you said that no one's done since Oscar Robertson. I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to kind of put him around the 70% mark.
Okay. So you see him similarly as Kevin Love.
Yeah, just like you said, the one thing that could keep him out is maybe his lack of playoff success, so to speak, in maybe the latter half of his career thus far. But who do you got for me next, Siege?
I'm gonna throw Kyle Lowry at you.
Ooh, Kyle Lowry. Ah. Honestly, I gotta. My gut's telling me no. I think his jersey will definitely be in the rafters at Toronto, but I just think there's other guards still in the league that have a higher chance of getting in. I mean, crazier things have happened, but my gut's telling me no on this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Again, Kyle Lowry's great. I don't think he's done enough to make the Hall of Fame. He's been a very consistent player his whole career. His one NBA title. Look, he was the second best player on that team. He was the Kyrie to Kawhi's LeBron, if you want to put it that way. He was that guy, that playoff run. But I don't know if it warrants a Hall of Fame nod to me.
Exactly right. Okay, I'm gonna try and throw another curveball at you. You know what? What about? No, not him. Derrick Rose.
Oh, dude, it pains me so much because my initial gut reaction is yeah, Derrick Rose is a Hall of Famer. But taking the bias and the love for the player aside and looking just at, the facts and the tangibles, I mean, yeah, he's a 17-point per game scorer his entire career. It's a really tough one. I don't want to tell myself that Derrick Rose isn't a Hall of Famer, but I don't know that he is. You take accolades heavily. Yes, he's got an MVP, 3 All-Stars, an All-NBA, All-Rookie, Rookie of the Year. I just don't know that unfortunately, that injury, I think, derailed him too soon in his career for me to say that he's a surefire Hall of Famer. And he's one of my favorite players of all time. But if I have to give a definitive answer, I'm going to go no. I don't think he makes the Hall of Fame.
And I got to agree with you on that one. I just think, yes, the All-Star, nods are there. The MVP award is there, but he just got hurt at the absolute wrong time. And had he not gotten hurt when he did, I don't think there'd be any question as to if he'd be a Hall of Famer or not. But barring, him managing to scrape together a ring or two here in the twilight of his career, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, so who do you got for me on this one, Siege?
All right, I'm gonna throw another big man at you. Blake Griffin.
Ooh, Blake Griffin. That is prime Blake Griffin with the Clippers. I mean, one of the most highlight reel dunkers of all time. 6-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, All-NBA. Actually, he's got better averages than what I thought he would. 19 points, 8 boards, 4 assists a game.
Yeah, I mean he was a hell of a player. He still plays, but he was a hell of a player. Yeah.
Yes, his numbers have gone down in the last couple of seasons, but I'm gonna say yes. I will say yes, even though I am on the fence. But however, he is still with Boston currently, correct? Yeah, he's still with Boston.
He is.
I think Boston is going to pull a title out somehow in the next year or two with Tatum. And if Griffin is still there and he gets his first ring, I think that is just going to furthermore help his case. So, numbers wise and in his prime, I mean, multiple consecutive seasons of, 20 and 8, 20 and 7. I mean, for probably about 8 to 10 years there, quite frankly. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll say yes.
All right, yeah, I mean, I actually do. I think he's going to make it. To me, it's a similar thing to Russell Westbrook. He doesn't have the title. Russ has the MVPs over him. You know, Blake doesn't have those MVPs, but he's got some accolades, and I think if he does make it, which I'm kind of betting on he will, it's going to be off the pure like visceral power of his game when he was in his prime. Like he was so good, and I think people forget how good he was when he was in Detroit too. He really upped his playmaking ability. He upped his just all around game, his shooting. I mean, I'm going to say he makes it based solely off of how good and dominant in a lot of aspects he was in his prime. You go back and watch those highlights, like you said, and like not just the dunks, but he did a lot of things really well. I think they give him the nod.
All right, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one who I think could be on the fence with some people, but I think in my eyes, as much as it pains me to say it, is one of the more interesting defenders at the 4 and the 3 in the NBA today. How about Draymond?
I've had this conversation before with quite a few people on whether or not Draymond's a Hall of Famer. I'm going to stick to my guns on this one. I think Draymond is a Hall of Famer. I think if you're a fan of the game of basketball, you understand why Draymond's a Hall of Famer. I think if you're a fan of the NBA and not necessarily the game of basketball, you might think otherwise. And I can see both sides. I can see why someone may not think he is. But to me, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a phenomenal basketball player. His basketball IQ is through the roof. A lot of people think differently, but I don't think the Warriors necessarily win all of those championships without Draymond. Maybe they win one or two, but I think Draymond was such integral part of that. He's got his Defensive Player of the Year award. Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. To me, it's honestly, to me personally, it's no question, but I can see the argument for him not being one.
All right, all right. I think I am going to agree with you that Draymond is a Hall of Famer, and he was a very integral part of those Warriors championship teams. And I was actually surprised to see this. Both him and Dennis Rodman have the same number of all defensive team selections.
Yeah, Draymond's that guy.
All right, so Siege, I think we got about enough time for one more guy each. So who do you got for me?
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. Ooh. My initial gut reaction is no, but actually his numbers are better than what I thought they'd be. You know what? I take that back. I'll say yes on Jimmy Butler. 6-time All-Star, 5 All NBA teams, 5-time All Defensive Player. Career average of 18 and 5. 4 assists, and his season numbers are actually a tick above what his career numbers are. So he's still, at the top of his game, if not getting better.
Yeah, look, I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan. I love the way he plays the game. I think as it sits right now, I don't think he gets the nod for the Hall of Fame. He's a great player. I don't think he gets the nod for the Hall of Fame. And the only way I see that changing, to be honest, is either if he plays another 6-7 years at the same level he's playing now, or I think the best way he gets the nod and gets in is if he, in his time in Miami, leads the Heat as the best player on that team to a championship. Then I could see him getting the nod. But as it stands right now, I don't think he makes the Hall of Fame.
All right. I mean, definitely one you could go either way on there, but all right, let's see. For the last guy of this Hall of Fame or not special, ooh. Okay, I got one for you. How about Mike Conley?
That is a really good one. And I love Mike Conley. He is one of the best human beings in the NBA. Consummate professional, very consistent, great defender, great scorer. No, I don't think he gets the nod. I don't think he gets the nod.
Yeah, I kind of lean the same way too with Mike Conley. Very consistent player, but I just when you add up the accolades, they're just not there compared to other point guards who are in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you look at guys who aren't in the Hall of Fame. You talk about a Chauncey Billups. I'm not taking Mike Conley over Chauncey Billups' career. So it's kind of like if he's not in the Hall of Fame, I'm not gonna put Mike in there. As much as I love Mike, he doesn't make it.
All right. All right, yeah, do it for today's episode of the J Rock Show. Siege, thank you for making the return today.
Of course, it was a pleasure to be here.
All right, y'all. Once again, thanks for tuning in. See y'all on next week's episode. And as always, see the game, be the game.